Get the muscles out.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody, welcome to Maps Journey, another episode, and I got my good friend here, Kurt Schwarz. Kurt, good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Joe. I'm already smiling here.
Hey, we're very casual here, so
Yes.
listen, a lot of people know you, a lot of people don't. You're a famous guy. You've been on Eric Metaxas, you've been on, some high-level podcasts and TV shows. Now you're on mine, which is really kind of low. But because you're going to be on the show today, you're going to bring it up. But a lot of people know you because of Inspired Sports Camps, right? Mm-hmm. So you're basically taking inner city kids from New York, Jersey, Philly. You're taking these kids out of the inner city and you're giving this sport-inspired camp atmosphere, playing sports, getting the opportunity to touch green grass in many cases. A lot of these kids are only playing on cement, playing stickball in the streets. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about that, but what's the backstory, man? How did you get involved with that? And then growing up, I think you're from Fair Lawn, New Jersey. So tell us about this Jersey boy, your backstory.
I'd be happy to. And with that intro, I hope there's not too many disappointed viewers today.
No, not with this guy.
But anyway, Jersey born and bred. Most people figure that out in a matter of minutes.
You and me both.
But born in Hackensack Hospital, man. And Fair Lawn, New Jersey is really where I've spent most of my life. Growing up there and now even living there today. So
And you played sports, right?
Yeah. So
like Little League and then right up to high school sports?
I played everything growing up, but when I got to high school, it turned into basically football and track and field. Yeah. Was fortunate enough to play and then get an opportunity to just play continue in college with D3 athletics, man.
Where did you go?
For the love of the game.
Where did you go?
First Montclair State, and then I transferred out of Montclair, and that's a little bit of the story. Had a great experience at Montclair, but then transferred out and went to Taylor University and continued playing out there. And God used both of those young adult experiences in big time ways to kind of shape where I was headed.
Then you got drafted by the Giants, right? Did that happen or no?
Not quite.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not quite.
I thought you told me that before. You got drafted by the Giants. Maybe not.
Yeah.
They can use you now because Cam Scatterboo, he got a bad injury today. So, What position did you play?
I was a defensive lineman.
Well, now you're going to be a fullback. Okay. Or going to be a running back.
Yes.
You can do it. You're a young guy. So, Fair Lawn, when did you meet your wife?
So, a little later on, post college, got into young adult years, and I was leading a young adults Bible study.
Yeah.
And we were both in our going closer to late 20s at that point. But I'm there and leading this Bible study, and young adults Bibles. I love this because we do a lot of recruiting, so we're in these environments all the time, and people show up to these places. Young adults ministry. I always tell my friends, it's two things. You need a lot of eligible single people, all right, and food, and then you have a successful ministry.
That's true.
All right, and then so we had both of those things. But I was leading this Bible study, and people were showing up. So her friend brought her out. She was born and raised in Colombia, South America.
Well, our boy right here, Alex.
Just like our cameraman here.
That's where he's a producer, a cameraman. He does it all, and he's Colombian.
Yeah, exactly.
He understands.
So and she came here and was actually studying, and she was going to school and met a friend who was ministering to her and reaching out to her and said, hey, you want to come out to this Bible study? And she said yes. So she showed up on Tuesday night at a Bible study I was leading, but I didn't notice she had a boyfriend at the time, and showed up once or twice and then never came back again. Wow. And then after that, about a year goes by, and she shows up with that same friend at my church. And I said, oh, there's Marcella. There's the girl I met last year. And, you know, everyone took notice. When new girls show up to the Bible study, everyone knows who they are. Yep. And I took notice. But I said, hey, I said to the same person that had brought her, I said, hey, she has a boyfriend though, right? It's like a year later. Oh, not anymore. So I said,
yeah, but the question is, was he from Jersey?
Yeah, a Jersey guy.
Oh, all right. You know, well, then you did a really good thing because you got her from a Jersey guy, so that's a really good thing. Yes, well,
really good thing. Very thankful that one didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to, you know, follow up and now say, okay, well, she's not, you know, maybe she needs a ride to church next week. I'll don't worry about it. I got it, you know. And
there it is.
And we started.
That's how you do it.
Started getting to know each other that way.
Right, and then you got married in 2007. So that's what, 18 years now.
18 years.
18 years.
Yep.
And 3 daughters.
3 daughters.
What are their ages?
Right now, 12, 8, 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're
so I went from
girl dad.
Football, you know, football playing to the only thing I knew coming out of college was I want to keep doing something with football. I was coaching. I coached high school football for 10 years. Yeah. And now no more football, man. I got all girls. So that's the funny thing.
They can do flag football.
I got 3. They're in 3 seasons a year, man. So now I'm the girls coach.
There you go, man. That's great.
Yep.
And you did high school football at coaching Park Ridge.
My last stop was Ridgefield Park.
Yeah, Ridgefield Park. That's right, Ridgefield Park.
Yeah.
And then how many years? You said 10?
I was at Ridgefield Park for 7, but I had a few other stops.
And were you like what defensive line? What'd you coach?
I was the line coach, and you know I had a stint as defensive coordinator.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like definitely like the football coach type, right? He's got the voice for it, you know. That's one thing. When I went down to Liberty University, I played football for a short time down there, scholarship, and but my coaches from Clifton. There was nothing like them. I mean, the terminology and the things that they would say, the way they would speak to you. Yeah. When I went down to Virginia and some of these coaches were from like Alabama and Texas and their accents, I was so used to like the Jersey coaches, like in your face, screaming at you, yelling at you, as, you know, Jersey accents. But I never forgot that. It was so funny. But you definitely have that whole Jersey, you know, atmosphere in your whole body. It's like the atmosphere flows around you. It's like, I know that's why I wanted to connect with you years ago, because I'm like, and that's how, let's talk about that now. Mm-hmm. I remember, you know, it was legacy-minded men ministry. Mm-hmm. And at an event, you know, I've been involved since 2008, but it wasn't then I met you a few years later. But I just remember seeing you at one of the events. I'm like, that's a cool guy. That's a guy I want to connect with. You know, he loves the Lord. He's a Jersey guy. And that's kind of how it started. And then I know you're also involved with New Canaan Society. You know, I go to that. Sometimes Alex does on Friday mornings. I got to start going again. I was doing really, really well, but sometimes I'm a little too tired to get up in the morning. But I got to start going there.
Commitment.
You know? It is. But every time I usually go, I'll see you there too. So I know you've been involved with that. But yeah, I mean, when did you come to the Lord?
Well, the original, you know, Jersey, one of the original Jersey people, it has to be mentioned here when you ask that question, and that is the person who first introduced the Lord, you know, to our family, and that was my grandmother, long before I was here. Okay. But this has to be told as part of my testimony, because Grandma is Patterson, born and raised. Yeah. All right, East Side High, and Great Depression era. Yeah. She was a product of that time frame, but she lived 40 years of her life apart from Christ. Wow. For, you know, totally, you know, she lived the life for herself, and was an amazing and fun and you know, lively woman. But at the age of 40, when she had children, she was looking for a babysitter. She found her babysitters at the local church. Wow. And the women of that church led her to the Lord.
Wow, that's awesome.
And this 40-year-old woman was radically saved. So this former dance instructor with Arthur Murray and depression, tough woman from the Depression era, the streets of Paterson, New Jersey, took that same attitude, MAPS attitude,
Yep.
for Jesus.
Wow.
And she became just a force.
Wow.
For the gospel until she she passed away in her close to mid-90s.
How long ago?
About I think 7-8 years ago.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
my grandmother,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older than you. She was born in 1900 in Paterson.
Yeah.
And she lived on Lee Place, right off of Main Street in Paterson. And then eventually they moved to Prospect Park, from Prospect Park to Clifton. But yeah, I mean, you got to always go back and find out who it was that made that introduction, who did the Lord use to help bring Christ to that person, in this case your grandmother,
Yep.
and then it kind of spreads,
Spreads.
like a domino like effect too, just everything just kind of
And some of her children obviously as well, but one of her children, her oldest is my mother,
Yep.
right? So grandma, she wasn't afraid of anything, man. She was legitimately bringing gas station attendants to church with her
Wow.
in her late 80s.
Wow.
She'd pick them up. She'd be ministering to them as they're filling up her car with gas, saying, "You got to come to church." And these guys would show up to her at church and get saved.
Wow.
And that's the kind of person she was, the kind of force she was. But so her children didn't have much of an option at that point. They were going to go to church with her, and my mom was a product of growing up in now that family that had Christ in it.
Yeah.
With my grandma, she then met my dad in a small church that I don't even believe is there any longer, and then. Church wasn't even an option for me, Joe.
Yeah.
It was not an option growing up. So at a very young age, I made a decision after hearing things in Sunday school. I remember asking my mom. I said, "Mom, I don't. What does it mean to go to hell? I don't want to go to hell." And sometimes it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. So at a young age, I made a decision to give my life to Jesus. But that was just the beginning of the journey.
Yeah.
And I had, I was fortunate to have great parents that did bring me.
And I've met them several times,
Yeah.
and they are great people. So
Brought me to church, and did that. But like I said, the beginning of my journey, but I got to then fast forward because it wasn't until young adult years, because you can grow up in church. And you can learn how to do church pretty well, right?
Yeah.
I think we've all done that. We've all done church. We've all learned that cycle of, hey, I can show up. I know how to turn it on. I was in that church this morning. Great church. But you know what I noticed? And I'm not going to talk about this church or any specific church. There's people showing up. People are really good at playing church, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I learned that. I learned how to, say the Bible verse, show up, with the, on Sunday. But my world shifted when I met a guy as a young adult, and he didn't know how to play church very well. Mm-hmm. Totally different upbringing. So stuff in his life that was things that you wouldn't want anyone to go through. Mm-hmm. And he was hanging on for dear life with his walk with Jesus. And if he didn't trust Jesus each day, he wasn't going to look like a very nice guy, And I said, I want to have faith like that guy has faith. I don't want to just go through the motions here. And he was a big part of me really, taking my faith to a whole nother level and saying, hey, I don't want to just go through the motions. I want to be trust in Jesus in that way.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started doing that, you talk about, hey, how to minute. That's why I started leading a Bible study.
Yeah.
Started trusting Him in new ways. Started being used in new ways, and saw that God had a plan for my life.
Yeah. So I mean, when we talk about like MAPS, again, it's an acronym for mental, attitude, physical, spiritual, all on this journey, and this is your journey. Mm-hmm. And you're sharing like the S, the spiritual side, how you came to the Lord. Then you're connecting, you're surrounding yourself with the right people. In this case, this guy who came in and just really showed you it's not about playing church, it's about a relationship with Jesus Christ. So What have you done over the years to really try to strengthen that relationship? Because it's easy to get beat up in this world. You know, I mean, you're a Jersey guy. You know what it's like to be out in this world. You're around these young kids and trying to get them inspired and encouraged and come to the Lord. But you get beat up, Satan attacks you. So how do you keep yourself grounded in your faith? What do you do to stay strong in your faith?
I mean, you know, obviously, I can give you the pat answers here, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. You can't do this thing alone. All right. So for me, the strongest times in my walk are the ones where I'm connected with others. You know, in a legitimate way. Not again putting on a show, not telling them what I think they want to hear, but just being real, open, and honest about what's going on. And then them, you know, meeting me there. And us talking through it and us praying through it. And it's been those relationships, which I gotta say have been just a handful of people over the years, bro. A handful of people that have you know, made a major difference.
And that affects your mindset, you know, because when you're getting beat up, these guys can encourage you, help you to work on your mental state. And then, you know, when you're dealing with tough circumstances, your attitude, you gotta have that attitude shift, you know, to keep your attitude right, because it's easy to be, you know, I don't know, depressed or upset about something when things aren't going well. And obviously, you know, you're like the executive director, right? That's the appropriate title for Inspire Sports Camps. So there's a lot of stress with that. You got to raise money. You have to come up with all the different things that you do. So what do you do to, like, every year, like, you had a great summer, right? You had a really good, like, some record-breaking things happen. I don't know.
Sure.
A lot of kids came to the Lord. We're going to find out about that on December 2nd when we go to the event. That's a plug, right? So I'm going to host a table, so call me. So
that's great.
What do you do to, like, you had this really good year. Talk about that. Tell me about Inspire Sports Camps. Tell me, you've been doing that how many years now?
So we're coming up on summer 15, right? So we this, like I said, about 15 years ago, this was just an idea. We started with an idea. We said, and the idea was, let's talk to any urban-based leader that might listen to us, right? And we went into cities like Newark, we went to the South Bronx, Brooklyn, and on year one, we had a few, and I mean less than 5, people that said, yeah, we will trust you to take our kids and give them a gospel encounter that they've never had. You know, take them out of the city, take them away, and I thank God, bro, because this ministry is built on partnerships. And if those first partnerships don't start, this thing never starts. Right? So I have a dear brother in Brooklyn that would bring up kids, you know, multiple years, probably 5-6 years in a row. And he was so excited. But it built off each other. They would come to camp, they would meet Jesus at camp. They'd go home, they'd fill his youth group on Friday night, and his ministry would be growing, you know, and then he'd bring more kids the next year, and we'd see that happen, and we see that same exact stuff happen today. But it's built on partnerships. So year round, what I get to do is I get myself and our amazing team now, which I'm really excited about. You know, you're going to hear about the fact that over 1,000 young people came to camp and had an opportunity to.
How did that compare to years before? Because I know COVID, obviously, that was a tough year.
Yeah,
right?
we've been on a growth path since COVID, and you know, we had this summer close to 200 more campers than we had the summer before. We have another goal next summer to continue to grow, and we're pushing. But you know, these kids came out, had an unforgettable, life-changing week at camp, and we saw you know, an amazing percentage of them go up and ring the born again bell and make a commitment for Christ at camp. But that's not something I'm doing that with an awesome team right now. And one of the things I'm most fortunate about.
How many people are on the team? How many people?
We have 8 full-timers now. We have 5 part-timers. And that's just in the last 8 years. 8 years ago, we had me and someone else. That was it. And so some of the things I'm most excited about, because I know that it's going to create opportunities for us to do even more, is that our team is growing. And we have some amazing people that are out there doing the same things that I initially did, just invite people to come be a part of what God's doing,
Yeah.
right? Invite partners that are on the ground in the city. And like you mentioned some of them, but all 5 boroughs in New York are represented: Newark, Paterson, Passaic, Jersey City. We got Philadelphia. We got little cities outside of Philly like Chester. We got Poughkeepsie, Scranton represented. Syracuse sent some kids this year. All these places are now represented in our camper population.
Yeah.
But that's our team going out there to go find new partners and opportunities to serve these kids. We also have a team, and they're actually there right now. I just got a notice before we started this. They just checked in at your alma mater at Liberty. They're I got a team at Liberty right now doing summer staff recruitment, and they go around this region and beyond. But last summer we hired 249 summer staff volunteers.
Wow.
So they're out there just going to find these people, find young adults who have a heart to serve. Say, I want to go on a mission trip, but I don't want, without getting on an airplane.
Yeah.
And they come to Inspire and have this amazing, and in many cases, cross-cultural missions experience, and their worlds are rocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, do you do it in Pennsylvania, or you do it like upstate New York sometimes? Is it different locations?
Well, depending on the locations that we've had over the years, we've been at different spots, but now we have 3 different locations all in eastern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
so
where our
like
camps
2 hours away?
Well, two hours right out. So we, our goal is to be 2 hour radius from the metro area, and all the sites are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I love going every year to to your event. December 2nd this year, right? December 2nd. Always on a Tuesday night.
Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Yep.
Tuesday after Thanksgiving. But it's always encouraging to me because listening to the stories and the testimonies.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you not get inspired? Like, as an older guy now, 58. I love to go listen to these young kids talk about, their testimonies, where they came from, and how that one experience, for a few days, whatever it be, they're getting Jesus, man. And then they're coming home, and then they're encouraging other people in the neighborhoods and talking about Jesus. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So what you guys do, I love it. I think, God is really, really using you. And you've been like an inspiration to me because you're very vocal about Jesus.
Well, can I? This is just. I know how you are. You like being interrupted a little bit, bro. So just to your point here, let me say this: that we had a girl come in last summer. Yeah. Now, most of these kids, like I said, come in with their leader, either their mentor or their youth pastor or their coach or whoever it is, right? She came. We got a call earlier in the summer. Hey, I'm gonna have to bring up my daughter a few hours late. Can I do that? We said sure, of course. One of my directors met the mother dropping off the daughter. We don't always get to meet the parents, or the mom or whoever's at home taking care of them. But she dropped off the daughter at dinner, which is a few hours after check-in, and she would not leave until she pulled my director aside and said, hey, I want you to know why we were so excited about having her come back this year. Last year was her first year at camp, and she came back home. She brought the Bible that you gave her. Every single kid gets a brand new Bible, and she was reading it. And every time she read the Bible, she would come back to the family and say, hey, Mom, we got to do some things differently here.
Wow.
And one of the things we have to do differently is we got to all start going to church.
Wow.
So this little girl comes to camp, meets Jesus, gets a Bible, starts reading it, starts telling Mom things need to change.
Yeah, it's cool.
Their entire family started going to church.
Wow.
And this mother was excited to come back and be the one dropping her off now at camp. So,
and that's awesome, man, because I believe that when we get to heaven, one of the rewards that the Lord is going to give to us, and He's enough. I mean, what He did for us, that's enough. But I believe He is going to show us how stories like that girl, she impacted her family. And then you don't know how many other lives were impacted. Like Billy Graham, right? When Billy Graham, when he did what he did, the lives that he touched.
Yeah.
He's going to meet so many of these people in heaven. But the person that led Billy Graham to the Lord, right? Think about that.
Amen.
So you never know with what you're doing. And I know the stories. You know, some of these kids come in and they're kind of like they're quiet and they don't, like in the beginning of the time that they're there, but by the time that they leave, they completely have turned things around. And I know some have gone, and that first year, nothing happened. But then they came back the second time, and then that's when their life got changed.
Yep.
So it was just somebody following up with them and encouraging them to plant. You know, the seed was planted. They didn't give up on them, brought them back again the following year, and then, you know, they ring that bell. Amen. And then again, what they do is they're impacting the people around them, their families, their friends, and that's amazing. So I always love talking to people who know where they're supposed to be in life, because a lot of people, you know, they're out there and they're not knowing where they're supposed to be. They're like, I'm spinning my wheels. They want to serve the Lord. They want to make a change in their life, but they're just spinning their wheels. But when you meet people like yourself, you know exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're passionate about it. You love what you're doing. You know, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of things that go into what you're doing, but you're making a difference. And like for me, and I know for you and so many of us, I know Alex and those who I know in this room too, that are watching us, our audience, our live audience here.
Yes.
I know that they want to make an impact for Christ as well. And that's the most important thing. I mean, you could, you know, sports guys, you know, football, we love all that stuff. But that stuff all goes away. But what you do for God and what you do for people lasts for all eternity.
Amen.
And when you get to heaven one day, think about how many people you're going to meet that the Lord is going to connect you with that you never met on this earth. But that one girl, that young boy, whoever it may be, they came to the camp, and then their life was changed, and then they impacted somebody else.
Amen.
And that person got saved.
Yep.
And that person got saved. And then when we're all in heaven, for all eternity, right, there's going to be a lot of those stories.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an opportunity for you to meet a lot of those people. So for me, you're an inspiration. I love going every year. And I want to come up myself to the camp. I know we had Erskine, our friend Erskine, come up and minister with music.
Yep.
And hopefully he'll come back again maybe next year if he's available to come up. But I love to come up too and just kind of witness. So now when I go to the event every year, I can say, yeah, I went to the camp and I got to witness it firsthand. And it just encourages you even more to get even more excited about it. But yeah, I mean, you're doing amazing things. You know, I always love seeing you at the different events that we do, at whether it's a legacy event or a New Canaan event. But yeah, you're real inspiration. I love also getting together and having a cup of coffee with you at the diner. We've done that.
That's great.
We've done that many times.
Many times.
So, is there anything else? I mean, you want to tell anybody out there? Tell us about how to get involved and.
Yeah. So thank you for allowing me to come on the podcast here, Joe. Great. You know, really, there's three ways you can get involved with Inspire Sports Camps, and we make it real simple. It's 3 S's, right? There might be some people out there that hear this and say, hey, I know a kid who might be able to benefit from that camp experience, and you know, you could send a kid, and we'd be open to that. You can reach out to us at inspiresportscamps.com. All the contact information is on there. For something like that. The other one is to serve. It goes back to what we were talking about. We have summer staff volunteers that now come in from all over the country and serve. But you don't have to serve for an entire week. Some just come up for the day. We have great opening day volunteers, closing day volunteers. We have some people that come and teach fishing for you know, a day throughout the week, or different things, arts and crafts. There's so many little ways that we get people involved and expose them to what God's doing here on site. So you could serve with us. Again, that information is available on our site. And then sponsor, and just make this experience possible for the young people we're talking about. Yeah. And, you know, say, hey, I want to sponsor a kid or a cabin to have the Inspire Sports Camps, an unforgettable, life-changing encounter with Jesus at camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to put that, like, I guess, somewhere in the video, right?
Description,
yeah. Description. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Well, Kurt, man, it was awesome to have you, and we'll have you on again in the future. maybe next year as you go through your camp again, and we'll have some more stories to share about that. So
Great.
I appreciate you coming, brother.
Thanks, bro.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that's it. That is another episode of Maps Journey. So we'll catch you next time.